The great question of to pin or not to pin. Yes, we're talking about Pinterest today for all of you handmade artisans who are selling your creations online. My name's Lena and I'm the very proud owner of madeit.com.au, and this is the Handmade Daily. It's designed to give you small snippets of information to really simplify and amplify your journey with selling online. This idea with Pinterest, look, I love Pinterest, and I'm sure if you're a handmade artisan, you probably have spent many hours on Pinterest, gaining ideas and putting together boards. Like, it's such a beautiful space. I found for me with my fashion label that I had, it was always a way to kickstart some ideas, and it would be like street fashion or seeing ideas for photo shoots and kind of all bringing it together. But it's a really interesting platform if you want to start actively using it to guide traffic. Now, for Made It, we have around 40,000 followers on Pinterest. So we've got a really solid following on Pinterest, and we pin content to there regularly. Like every week we're pinning content and we're tagging it back to the website. But as far as from a content and driving traffic aspect, it's definitely a long game. So you may know this already, but when we're talking about Google, Pinterest, and YouTube as well, to be honest, they're a little bit different. And let's drop off Google. Let's just talk about social media. If we're talking about Pinterest and YouTube in comparison to Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, say, they're very different platforms. And the reason why is that Pinterest and YouTube are essentially search engines like Google. So it means that all of the content that comes up is based very specifically on you popping in a search and being delivered items that match that search, if that makes sense. Whereas in Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, of course, the system is understanding, working out what it is that you're interested and then feeding that content. But it's less about you actively searching for specific things and then being delivered the content. I think one of the things that I think Pinterest is really good for is that if you do any sort of DIY kit, I think it's hugely powerful, because if you're thinking about how people use Pinterest, and I think that's also as well something you got to keep in mind. If you're not someone who actively uses Pinterest yourself, then I would say it's not the platform that I would start with. I think that if you're genuinely someone who loves Pinterest and who uses it all the time, then you can use that knowledge to actually build into your strategy about whether or not it's suitable for you to pin. Like if you're pinning, once in a blue moon and you're putting something up and having links in it and doing all the things, will it perform? Maybe. I think there's so much content on there. There's so much content everywhere, and that's just something that we've got to be really, mindful, because it's going to impact into our time and what we actually focus on as well. So if you're, before I was saying, if you're someone that does DIY kits, I think that they actually have a really good place to sit on Pinterest. Because if you think about who's using Pinterest and they're like, oh, I want to learn how to crochet a bag, right? And they'll be looking for patterns or ideas or all that sort of stuff. So there's many layers of content that you've got a really good chance for actually being found. Now, of course, like anything, it can be very flooded. It's going to take that consistency. It's going to take that repetition. It's going to take that time. But if you're really playing for the long game, infinite game, as Simon Sinek would say, then it could be a really good platform for you. But what I would say is that it's a really fine line between, using generic content which doesn't really fit, but also spending too much time kind of creating unique content while you work it out. So my suggestion would be, what content do you have that you've already created that you could possibly start to play with in Pinterest to understand how it works and whether or not you're getting those link clicks. And really, outbound link clicks are the gold that you're looking for on Pinterest. You want someone to be able to search for something, they see a post come up for you, and then they're clicking on it. Now, it does not need to be sponsored to do this. You can add a direct link into your post, and then someone can click through and then go and visit, right? But I would start to get to understand those metrics first. If you're popping stuff up, it's like, well, what's performing? When is there any clicks? Is anyone interested? And then just do that again. I always say this, but try it for 3 months. Go in with a strategy that you're like, this is the consistency that I can repeat. Maybe 3 pins a week that you're going to do to start with. You're going to do it for 3 months, measure everything as you go, and then you can decide whether or not it's a worthwhile platform for you. But honestly, just putting up a couple of pins and seeing if they work, it'd be unlikely that you're going to see the results that you want to see. So that's it today for the Handmade Daily. I hope that's given you some insights into whether or not Pinterest is the right platform for you. And if you love this video, please subscribe, pop a comment down below, let me know what your experience has been with Pinterest, but also share this video with one of your creative friends that might also appreciate coming along to the Handmade Daily. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.